Clutch Trucker filmed before a live and very fuzzy studio audience. Yep, that's Rusty, the world-famous meatball dog. Hey YouTube, Clutch Trucker here. Thanks for tuning in to another edition of the Clutch Trucker channel. Okay, driving here on I-74 in Indiana, southeast of Indianapolis, as I like to call it. Everyone else calls it Indianapolis. I like to call it something different. I do that talking to my wife on the phone all the time. When I tell her where I'm at, I'll say like Indianapolis, Omaha, instead of Omaha. You know, Columbus, instead of Columbus. You gotta find little ways to entertain yourself out here, right? Thought we'd do some in-shot camera cap shot here on the dash cam. The sunrise, it's coming up. We're at 6:36 a.m. here on Sunday, the 2nd of May, and it was nice and orange to the left, and now it's kind of changed a little bit. Hopefully the color will show up here in the dash cam again here in a moment. Well, the main purpose of this video is I think I have figured out the problem with my whole chugging thing. Ha! Yeah, now I'm going to get comments from people saying, you shouldn't have left your hands off of the wheel. Just relax. Yeah, I've been driving, you know, all night long. Got loaded last night at Heinz in Muscatine, Iowa. They actually loaded it fairly correctly. I did scale to try to get my loaded weight so I can calibrate my app weigh, and that's going to be coming up in another video within a couple of days where I do the whole thing. Turns out, though, I put the sensor on the trailer in the wrong spot. I put it right along the airline coming from the dump valve, thinking, well, if you can dump all the air from the airbags from that valve, that's in a handier spot. Let's put it here. Well, it just leaves a constant, all the time, loaded or empty, air pressure on there that doesn't change. Well, you need it to change for that to work. So, I'll be moving that after I get parked today, and we'll work on that again. Did get the drive axle, though, to scale out, to calibrate, and it was actually pretty close. So, I'm still optimistic now about the app weigh. We'll continue on with that in another video, like I said. Well, if you watched my last video, I was kind of bummed out that the new injectors and everything else I did that I spent $3,800 plus on to get fixed, and a full day at Freightliner, did not take care of the chugging issue. And it just keeps getting worse. It's like worse now than it ever has been. So, since I was driving all night and had plenty of time to think, I read everybody's comments. Thank you, everybody, for all the comments. With lots of different suggestions. Many people still suggesting that it has something probably to do with the fuel lines, and I agree. Because it acts like it's starved of fuel. And so I kept thinking about that. And so I just Googled up fuel starvation issue to see if anything popped up. And yeah, something did I hadn't even thought about. Fuel vent! And a fuel vent tube. Yeah, you need them on your fuel tanks. I didn't even really know they existed. Now that I know how they work, it makes sense. Your fuel tank needs to breathe, because as it's pulling fuel out, air needs to come in to replace that fuel in the space in the tank. It's kind of like you ever drink one of those cheap, really cheap water bottled waters, and if you're really thirsty and you're just chugging on it, the bottle collapses in because you're just sucking the water down, but air isn't being able to get in to replace the water, and so the bottle collapses on you. Same concept. Since your fuel tank can't collapse to make less space in there, it needs to be able to suck air in. Makes perfect sense. And I even found a video from a Russian guy saying his International was having issues like that, and he just cleaned out his fuel vent thingies, and it took care of his problem. I'm thinking this is the issue. So, right now I'm still heading. I've got to drive all the way down to Orlando, Florida for a Tuesday AM 5:30 delivery. But I've got 2 long days and 1 very short day on Tuesday morning to finish. So I'm going to stop. I looked ahead. The Freightliner south of Cincinnati there in Walton, Kentucky, near that TA, opens at 7 a.m. this morning. It's now 6:45 Eastern Time. I'm going to stop by and get 2 of the new fuel vents and 2 new hoses. Because I bet you that's my issue. It seems to be starved of fuel. And if it can't vent properly, either outward or inward, because as your fuel system is working and it returns from the engine warm fuel, well, then air needs to go out of your tanks. So I'm going to buy 2 of them, 1 on each for each of the tank. They go right on the top. They're real easy to replace. I'll even be able to do that myself. And that may solve my problem. Makes Clutch Trucker happy, thank you. So we'll see. On my way to buy them now. And then I'm just going to go ahead and replace them as soon as I buy them, because I want to see if this works. I am not going to be patient enough to wait until I get parked today. I'm going to do it right there in the lot. Okay, here's what's hopefully going to solve my problem. This is a fuel tank vent. It screws into the top of the tank. It's got a little ball in there. You can hear that. See if I can show it to you. It's in there. That's so if you flip your truck over, the ball goes against that, and your fuel won't all leak out of your tank. It's got a purpose to it other than being like a jingle bell thing. And then you attach the hose, which I bought right here. Just slides up on this edge here, and you just shove that on there. Bada boom, bada bing, buddy boop. And hopefully this will solve my issue. Alright, this right here is the fuel vent on top of the fuel tank right now. There's the hose coming off the back of it. We're going to pull this out. Just drop it in, tighten it down. Alright, gonna grab the wrench. Now I'm just gonna stick my hose onto the nipple on the back. Give it a good shove. I think we got it all the way around. The video can verify. Alright, now I'm just gonna do the exact same thing on the other side. This took me 2 minutes. Okay, there's stepping back, just kind of looking at the overall picture. There's the fuel tank. If I squish down, you can see there's the new vent with the hose coming off the back. Get you a little closer. There it is. It's a beautiful thing. Alright, so from start to finish, from the time I walked back out to my truck and started the job and finished the job, 12 minutes. 12 minutes. And here's how much it cost in parts. Can you see that right there? Where is it? Here's my total. $30.40. That's it. So let's hope that did it, because if so, for 30 bucks, wow, that would be awesome if that did it. I'm going to roll across now to the TA, across the highway here, fill up, and then we'll get rolling down the road, and we shall see. Okay, so after all that was said and done, at least it was a quick repair, only 30 bucks, like I showed you. So, did it work? Did it solve my problem? No. I was so hopeful. I was sure hoping that was it. It made perfect sense. Fuel tank's got to breathe. If they don't have air coming in, the fuel might be slow coming out, causing the chugging issue. Did it help at all? Yes, it did. It made things a little better, because after that I'm going up and down over the hills in Kentucky, and I was able to maintain a little bit better speed. So yeah, it did help a little bit, but still did not solve the main problem. Well, like I said before in the comments, thank you for commenting, everybody. I've got a lot of suggestions. I'm still pretty convinced it's something to do with the fuel lines, the fuel system somewhere in there. When I got parked here at the TA in Caryville, Tennessee, I was gonna take a wrench to anything I found with a fitting on it to see if I could tighten it down and feel all the lines as best I could. But I first was trying to redo the sensor for the Appway on the trailer. I had to move it to a different location, was crawling around all under there. Once I got done with all that, well, then it kind of started to rain. So that's going to have to be put off for another day. And yes, the Appway video is coming, and I can tell you I did get it to calibrate pretty well, and I've got to do a little bit more with it and a little bit more on the video, but that video will be coming out too, so stand by for that. Yeah, well, thought that was going to be the big savior. Unfortunately, no. So the quest continues. I do thank everybody for all those comments again. I think I've got to look at more on the fuel lines, so I think that's where it lies. We'll just see. Remains to be seen. Please subscribe. Don't forget about Clutch Trucker at Instagram, Clutch Trucker at Twitter. Try to do more semi-daily updates on that. I've kind of fallen off the pace the last few days, so give me some slack. Been working and trying to get things done. I tell you, of course, ring the bell for notifications so you know when the new videos come out or when we go live. And as always, sniff that magic YouTube fairy dust. Clutch and Rusty, out. My mother-in-law, I tell you, for years I wouldn't kiss her face. Now I end up kissing her ass. Begging strap. Begging strap. Yeah, I'm tired too, but you gotta leap. Come on, at least go up to try to get it. Come on. Rusty, you're killing me. Come on. Get the begging strap. Yeah, there you go. Alright. Happy dog. Look up here. He's too busy.